What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Universal Crystals. Today I think this video is going to be very special because I've gone through so much since my last video. So if anybody was worried about me, don't worry anymore, because I had to go to that dark place one more time. And thankfully somebody pulled me out of it, and that's why I just need to make this video to let you know you're not alone. And that's a terrifying thought if you're like me. You know, people say like, you're not alone, but I almost didn't want to believe that, even though I knew things have been speaking to me in the sense of like angels, God, aliens even have been speaking to me. This whole time, I guess I didn't want to accept it because I was like, I'm afraid of my own power, as I'd been talking about a lot recently. And I guess my, hatred for certain people that I was kind of like letting go in a way, or beginning to finally let go of in my last video, or in the Dark Night of the Soul, like loneliness and betrayal, talking about how I've been very lonely and I felt very betrayed. And I touched on the fact in that video that I've betrayed myself. And I think that's what it ultimately comes down to, is I've come to the realization that, you know, I've always known this, but like really come to the realization. It took someone basically scaring me into realizing like, oh, I'm everything I say I am. And I know that now for a fact, and it's terrifying. Like I've had so much anxiety and stuff over the past couple of days, and it's because I've been reprogramming my subconscious mind, because I had realized how programmed I've become. And we all are, but a lot of us, because of this world. It's not even something we necessarily tried to do. It's just like they've set the world up in a way to program you to essentially be as far disconnected from God as you could possibly be. And they get everybody to kind of join in on the movements that they believe are what God would want. They can't really tear you down without first getting you to believe that your enemy is actually your friend. So you almost get trapped into this like thing where it's like they've disconnected everybody from God so much, and the only answers they provide to anybody are these very restrictful versions of God, which I grew up on. And so I felt so lost and disconnected, and at this time people are starting to realize that something's speaking to them, and whatever it is, it must be God, because it's looking out for me in so many ways. And I didn't even realize, you know, God, the universe, I don't think of God as a specific person, which is why I kind of have to feel like I have to preface that. But I saw the hand of God touch me, and I felt it very strongly many times, and the numbers and synchronicities have just been going crazy. So I guess I just felt so inspired to let you guys know that you're not alone. And like I just said, that can be very scary if you have been doing things that are out of alignment, and you're almost like, you realize like, oh, they have been watching me this whole time. Like, even though you know they're watching, like God is always watching. We all make mistakes, you know, we all do things where we don't listen to our conscience or something like that. And that's how the ego can get you in a way, is like, it'll make you feel these feelings of guilt and shame about the things you did in the past, your old self, your false identity, what you believe you used to be, what you used to be, but what you believe you are, because you've almost like kept that going just because that's a story you've told yourself for so long. And if that story has a lot of guilt and shame, that's what the ego loves, because it's like, oh, well, now you almost repeat this cycle to never break free, to never improve your life, to never get out of the guilt and shame, because you'd rather just put it on you. You'd rather blame yourself, because the alternative many times, at least for me, was either hate other people that I love, or blame myself for everything they did to me. And I couldn't find the balance between like, or maybe just not even either of those. It's like I went from my last video kind of still holding on to some feelings of hatred, but now I've completely flipped the opposite way to feeling compassion and love for these people, and almost like wanting to help them more than I ever have, and not feeling guilty, not doing it because I feel guilty anymore. That was kind of how I used to feel, is like only being nice because I feel like I've done so much to other people that I deserve it and I'm unworthy. But I've realized that if I never did all these things, I would have never realized how I'd been programmed and brainwashed into sort of being somebody that I'm not even, that's not really who I am. And I finally remembered who I was, thanks to this person who was in one of my one-on-one calls. And they helped me more than I helped them. And I think maybe they even joined because of that. They joined because of the specific price of $67. And they just kind of gave me a perspective, and it was almost like a message from someone else in my life, to me. And I kept getting those messages, and it's like and in my car right now, it's 444. So like, there's another one. It's like, there's many people sending me messages, and it's like everything is accelerated for me recently to the point where I'm scared to do anything that will, like, I can manifest stuff so fast now. I guess that's why I'm kind of terrified that I am everything that I thought I was, It's like I finally got what I wanted. And it's like, oh my God, be careful what you wish for, I guess. But that's why I came here, I came here to discover this, and I discovered it a while back. I guess it's just kind of hard when everybody around you, like everybody that watches this video, will be like, what is he talking about? But I wouldn't be making a video like this. As you guys know, I've struggled with self-esteem and just what people will think of the real me. And, I guess I got programmed by the world to think that I had to be a certain way. And now I've just been listening to these subliminal affirmations to reprogram my subconscious mind. And that has been causing me to look at all the things that are not allowing me to manifest my dream life, not allowing me to be in my desired reality. And Moldavite does that as well. Thank you, Mark, for giving me the crystals you gave me. I cannot tell you how much they've helped me, genuinely. It's and you probably knew that. I mean, you're intuitive. And all of you, I don't think you guys realize how much I appreciate you guys, especially now, because I don't know how many people's audience helps them in the same way that you guys do, because you attract the same type of people as you, and I'm intuitive, and you guys are intuitive, and I guess I didn't realize just how intuitive a lot of you were until I accepted that there are things speaking to me, quite frankly. And that's okay, and not like demons. I'm sure some people will think, oh, it's no, I've seen those too, and someone pulled me out of that, so I know. I'm saying these things are protecting me from the demons. I can feel that there had been some like attacks on me and stuff in a weird way. And I'm not paranoid, I'm not saying that, but I've just been going through a lot, so just go easy on me, guys. I know I may shock you and like disappoint you. That's what I really hate, is I don't want to disappoint anybody, but I guess that's kind of my journey, is to let go of the need for approval and like the fear of disappointing anybody, no matter how much I either look up to them or love them or want the best for them. Because when I finally allow myself to be, I'll actually help those people a lot more. And I'm just so thankful for all the people that gave me criticism, pointed me in the right direction. And I don't take criticism well, like many times in my life I just don't. But I think I've gotten better because, like I said, when I can tell someone's very intuitive and I could tell that they see the real me, and they're giving me advice based on like the real me, not some superficial like book of guidelines that you're like repeating that you've heard from the rest of society. That type of advice from authority figures my whole life I just hated. So I've kind of like been meeting people in my life now that can really see me, and I guess that's terrifying to me, that they can actually see the real me, because I haven't experienced that in a very long time. But I'm very thankful for all the triggers, I guess you could say, that got me to this point. And I hope that you guys remember that you're not alone, and you can use all of the little things and little signs in your life to remember that. But sometimes, even when you're seeing all that stuff, like I had been for years, sometimes it just takes somebody or some type of circumstance to point you back in that direction. And I'm so thankful for that. And I don't know who's looking out for me. Well, I kind of do. I think I'll talk some more in other videos. But I'm sure I'll be experiencing a lot more, because now I'm really on the path even more than I was before. You know, I've wavered many times. But that was all meant to be as well, you know. As I've said, if it's meant to be, it will be. If it happened, it was meant to happen. And as I've begun to fully accept the present moment and not allow my ego to make me feel guilty and ashamed of all the things I did, but, you know, that guilt and shame, in a way, allowed me to release the guilt and shame, because the guilt and shame made me kind of look at what I was doing, kind of get back on track, and realize that I don't have to be scared of my power as long as I'm using it for good. And that's what I've been trying to do. I guess it's just I'm terrified of how easy it can be to fall into the essential hypnosis of the world. So you've almost got to hypnotize yourself back into your soul, your core, who you really are, the identity that you truly are, which is consciousness, which is the one. You are the one. And I guess we all are the same person, just pretending to be each other. And that, in a way, has terrified me, as I've mentioned many times. It's just scary to know, like, you really can't get away with anything. But I guess that's a good thing, because you will always be on the right path if you're always doing what your heart is telling you to do. I got back on Wizard 101 and started playing again. I've been having a lot of synchronicity with wizards. Hogwarts Legacy just came out recently and stuff like that. And so when I was on this call with this person, they asked me if I had read the Celestine Prophecy. And I haven't, but I'm going to now. Because just earlier in that day, I had been, or like the night before, or a couple nights before, I had been buying packs from the Celestian Spell Mental Pack, or whatever it's called, on Wizard 101, so I could get this spell called Ship of Fools, which will be another synchronicity I'm about to bring up. Just be patient. I'll try and go as quick as I can. But these are crazy. And then I ran across this book of celestial wisdom right after on Wizard 101 after the call. And then I got an item that was called the Robe of the Universe, and that was one of the pictures on my slideshow on Instagram recently. I was opening those Celestian Spell Mental Packs to get Ship of Fools. I found this song called, the song is called A Symptom of Being Human. Which I think is actually the perfect title. And it says Ship of Fools in the song. But I feel like that song has more so been a message to me from someone else, or at least that's how I took it in the moment. That's why I have so much compassion now. And like all these songs and things, even the clouds, even stuff in the skies, like, I don't know. Something's happening, and I am along for the ride, but I realize that I'm also kind of in control simultaneously. After all the Celestine prophecy, the Celestial Book of Wisdom, the Celestine, all this crap, Celestian everywhere, Celestian, I found the subliminal that I mentioned in this video where I'm trying to reprogram my subconscious mind was by celestial subliminals, I believe is what it's called. Either Celestian or Celestial Subliminals. So shout out to them on YouTube. And it's the specific video that has it's like 8 hours and 8 minutes long or something. And I think it had like 17k likes, and I was the 18,000th like when I pressed the like button. And there were, in the comments, I think you guys go check, it might still be like that. I think it was like 1.1 thousand comments. And when I was like reprogramming my mind with this, like I was like, this is how I know like celestial beings are communicating with me, and they're not evil like they're gonna try and make them out to be. So beware, guys, they're not evil. The celestial beings or aliens or ETs or whatever you want to call them that I specifically have been having synchronicity with is the Blue Avians. And funny enough, tomorrow, NC State, my favorite college team, is going to be playing in the NCAA tournament against the Creighton Blue Jays. I think their mascot's a blue bird. I don't know if it's Blue Jays or what, but it's a blue bird just like Blue Avians. Creighton's record is 21-12. So I'm not sure if they're going to beat NC State or... I mean, NC State's not supposed to win this game, but I feel as though there's something special going on right now. I was in Ravenclaw I keep getting hair in my mouth. I was on Ravenclaw in Hogwarts Legacy. I'm a Ravenclaw. If you know Harry Potter, like you do the quiz and all, I always get Ravenclaw. The mascot is actually an eagle, even though it's called Ravenclaw. But their colors are blue. Blue Avians. It's a blue bird. And the Eagles in the Super Bowl, they lost the game because number 24, James Bradbury, who used to be on my favorite team, the Panthers. 24 is a big synchronicity if you know me. The last play of the game, he got screwed on a call, basically. I think it was a bad call. Should have been called. I guess it could be. He admitted he held the guy, but whatever. We're not going to argue about sports. But the thing is, it's like everything, even the biggest defense in the world, keep having these synchronicities. And Kobe, you guys know, is a big synchronicity for me, and he was an Eagles fan. So I was thinking the Eagles were going to win, but then they didn't win. And I guess I just had to take a loss in that way. But like the Blue Avians specifically, you just look up Blue Avians. I've been seeing crap, guys. I'm just saying, I know it sounds crazy, especially to people that aren't really into this, but I'm not really afraid to speak on it anymore because this is what allowed me to finally realize I am what I thought I was and get me out of the dark hole I was in. And I'm not just like making this shit up either. Like, I don't even like this, okay? I've been saying I'm kind of terrified. So I'm not just trying to like make this up. I didn't ask for this person to join my one-on-one call and give me all these signs and for all these songs to speak to me in such a way that like, I don't know what's going on, but this is amazing. It's a special time, guys. The new earth is here. I'm scared of how good things could get. I guess it's more excitement. They say anxiety and excitement come from the same place. And I think that's what it is. And I have such a great mindset about it. So don't worry, guys. I'm not actually that scared, but I was. Last night I went through a lot because I was just so like trapped in my thoughts and feeling guilty about all, because I had to look at it as I'm reprogramming my mind. I have to let go of the old programming, which forces me to look at it and not repeat the cycle. But now I realize I have so many angels around me protecting me, and they won't let me repeat that cycle unless I'm meant to. And I know I'm not going to be perfect, and that's kind of part of the lesson, I guess, is that the ego wants me to be perfect, and I have to do everything right. The point is that when you ruin your reputation, you can live quite freely. And I guess I've just been having to break up with my old self-image. But you are not alone, and there are many people protecting you when you're going through those dark times. And even I may be protecting you as well, as crazy as that sounds. But I love you all. Remember, you are not alone, and you are here for a reason. And if you want to talk to me, you can click the link below to do one-on-one calls with me. But I know only the right people will find me, guys. Universal crystals forever.